Whoa! Right, I think we did it. I totally think we did it. Hi all. Okay, right. You're gonna come with me. This is far too huge. Why is this? Why? Oh no. Oh wait, maybe baby. Sorry, let me just have a look at something. Auto bitrate, all this stuff. Video? No. Maybe. Street? No. Whatever. Okay, anyway. We'll do this. We'll do this. Because I don't think we're going to need the bottom corner all too much. Sick. Right. Whoop. Yo. Yo. Okay. Let's make some. Let's make some things. Let's make some YouTube thumbnails. Now, when you first start, if you create new, this one I grabbed it because it basically has YouTube marking on it. It's the one that fills up the most of the thumbnail picture, so that's what we go for. We create, because why not? All the base settings, because lol. There's probably a lot better ways to do this. I am by no means a master at any of this. I don't know what these little blue things are, so we just delete them. We just get rid of them. Now, if I minimize this, you're going to come through the whole thing with me. Now, what happens in our latest video?
Okay, right. Okay, right, so why have we switched? Okay.
I'm going to turn you down a little bit. I'm going to wear you. Whoop.
I don't believe there's nothing there.
Excuse me.
There is indeed nothing there. Okay, cool. Alright, sound effect to the waterfall though.
Cool. Oh wait, there's. Okay, yeah. So there's this guy. Just like big part. So basically, what you want to do is just find a big part of the video and try and make that your focus. This guy, this knobhead, he basically started throwing fire at me, and I was not ready for it. So look, if you watch this bit, you see that he just comes at me with. You see what I mean? So like, I'm very upset there. I think this is probably going to be the bit that we use. So we go back. If you're using OBS, not OBS, VLC player, if you hold E takes you frame by frame. So we can go along all the way. Now I want a good picture of this dude. So I think I'm going to get a good picture of him once I get out. So like, I'm just going to keep hitting this button. I've got to shoot the arrow, and then we're going to use that. So after I've shot this, there must be a point where we get kind of close to him. It's not very clear because he's moving a lot, and then I shoot him with these massive like high powered arrows, and you can't really make him out all that much. If I make this big, yeah, you can't really make him out that much, and you want him to stand out from the background. So, and like all of this is just particle effects. It's not going to look very good if I crop all of that out. You know, I need a solid picture of him. I could Google it, but I'm also a little unsure with with how like licensing works for pictures on Google, because I know if you get found, you can get like that one demonetized, or someone can complain to you that you've used my artwork, all this stuff. So I think there was one later on where 2 dropped down. Was it this one? No. Yeah, also expressive faces, very good. So if we... I'm going to need to try and find a better picture of that. So we'll open this up. Whoop. Say hello to Google, everyone. Turok Rock Monster. Yeah, you see these pictures are much better. If we go images, like I said, I prefer to use all my own, but sometimes you just have to because other people use like sort of scaled up stuff. So if I just scroll around a little bit, I want. How's your day going anyway? I can see chat over here, by the way, if you want to chat. Yes, I will respond in kind. You can't see it, but I can. Which again I think is good, because if anyone comes in and starts spouting a racism, I can just not reply to it, and that will just be off into the void. So that's a good picture. Can't really make a huge amount out. I think this is going to be the one we use. Cool. So perfect. You want a nice big picture because you can always scale it down. If you have a small picture and you scale it up, it will get all pixelated. So what we do is we save image once it's large. We save image just as whatever in our downloads file. Thickness for the thickness. We go to this. We open up said downloads. There it is. And we just drag and paste it. Copy and pasting also works, but it doesn't work as good. Hello. Please. There we go, lovely. Okay, right, so once you get it in, you can like shift it around, but people always find it, well, I found it incredibly awkward from the start. Like, how Photoshop works. It's not very intuitive. It's not like a Paint or like a Word or something. So masking is your best friend for this. So you see this guy, I want this guy, and I want pretty much none of the background, or I want him separate from the background. Sometimes I can highlight him. If I try and highlight now, it's going to change the entire image. The idea of Photoshop is you have to break it down into smaller and smaller bits that you really want to mess with. So for instance, I want to mess with you. Okay, so I just want you. Even if I keep the background there and just like black it out a little bit, I still want him there. So, and I could like highlight him, like I said. Up here, so this moves your picture. Woo. It's also how you like reset a lot of stuff. You have your square. This is basically for masking. So masking is when you want a piece of the picture, like we do. I use the quick select tool a lot, sometimes the magic wand, or sometimes if you go up here you can go select subject. If we do that, that will highlight what the AI in this thinks the subject is. So our survey doth say, hey, it got him. Perfect. If it doesn't get him, you can click that, you can go minimize, because that's get rid of masking, that's add masking. I don't know what this is, new selection. These are your sizes, your hardness, your spacing. We'll get to those a little later. Perfect. You see it's caught some of the gun here. We don't want that. We don't want that there. We might want that later, but for now we don't want that there. So I'm just going to do the minus because it gets rid of some masking. Masking of these bits. These are the parts you want to keep. So I'm just going to boop, 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 boop. And you'll hear me like click a lot, because if you click a lot, then if something goes wrong, you can just Control Z it and it all comes back. Like in little bits. You see this? See how it's getting back? If you click and highlight and go down, if it removes something that you don't want to remove and then you let go, if you Control Z, it just removes it all and puts it back to normal. Again, don't want that. So we have our dude. We have that dude. Now, we're gonna, what is it? Is it Control J? Control J effectively makes a copy in a completely different layer. You've got your layers here, you've got background, you've got the picture, the first layer with the picture in it. If we do Control J, that gives us a second picture. These are your like visibilities on these. So if you turn it off, it just shows you that, and you see we've got some masking here that we kind of didn't want. Yeah, see this? If I turn this back on, it's picking up some of this stuff. Okay, so we turn that off. If I hit Control T now, that stands for transform. And basically I can move him like this, but it doesn't give me the other like points to pull him and stretch him and do stuff. If you hit Control T, it comes up and then you can stretch him. As you notice, to start off with, if you only grab those, it doesn't work like Word, where it sort of stretches you out sideways and then pulls you back in. It just scales the entire image. To do that, you have to right click, and then you've got freeform, you've got rotate, you've got skew, distort, all this stuff. We'll be using a couple of these. But before we do any of that, you see this stuff, I don't want this stuff because it's making this picture a bit too big, and then that's going to be in the way. So we're going to get rid of it. So we use the eraser. You can right click, you got eraser, erase background, magic eraser. We're just going to go with regular eraser. I find it's the best. Again, we're setting the size, setting the hardness. Hardness of 0 means it's going to like feather the edges. Again, you click, you multiple click, you don't just click and hold, because if you click and hold and get rid of a bit that you don't want to get rid of, if you Control Z that, it undoes it all. Okay, it just undoes it. But if you click a lot, if you keep hitting Control Z, eventually it gives you back all your stuff. Again, we don't really want that, so this is as much of our guy as possible that we want. Now, the reason that I have the hardness split way down is because things with very hard edges look a bit weird when you stick them on a background. Okay, so you can feather the edges with the eraser and it makes it a lot easier. Makes it a lot more cohesive as an image. So our dude's here, he looks a bit weird just by himself. I actually want, if we go back to this, I get to like a, after I kill this dude, I get to like an arena that actually looks pretty cool. This place. So again, we hit E and we just sort of tap, 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 tap. See, we're going to make our dude like match up with all of this. See, he could look quite cool in there. And then I could just put fire everywhere. I don't want to, but I could. So if we carry on, boop, 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 boop. Because I want to show in the image that he's guarding this. So I need it to come into focus. That looks pretty good. I can get rid of this. I'll show you how to do that in a second, and then he would look good standing there. Okay, so maybe we do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to Alt print screen will print screen the window you're on. So if I'm clicked in Photoshop and I Alt print screen, it's going to print screen this. It's not going to get all the bottom parts. It just makes it easier. What we'll do is we're going to go back up to the move tool. We're going to click. Also, we're not highlighted anything, and we just Control paste. Cool. So it's here. Now we want this middle bit. Ideally, preferably without me. What I might do is actually get this and then just flip it horizontal, because I think that'd look better and then it wouldn't have me in it. Or I might give me a sad face and keep me there, which could be quite funny, because I could just have like fire all behind him. Do I want me in it? Again, I can crop myself out. Let's do that. So, because that'll be a good learning tool for everyone. Everyone who is 0 over here. So, I want me. So, boop, boop, boop. Again, we click, we don't drag. Because if you drag, you'll get parts that you don't. Oh, you see that? Did you see that? It tried to highlight this whole back end. If I dragged, it would have caught the entire back end. You see the problems. You see these problems. Cool. So it's doing it again. Right, let's zoom in. So to zoom in and out on an image, because you're going to want to, and Photoshop makes it kind of awkward. But if you hold Control and then the plus and minus buttons up on your keyboard, plus goes in, minus goes out, and then use the sliders to move left and right. Okay, so we go in nice and close, we make this real small, and then we start. Bloop, bloop. Okay. Bloop, 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 bloop. It tries to find sort of edges. So if you do that, I can always just rub that bit out. That bit should be fine. I do want my leggerino. So we want that. This is sort of the problem that you do get with Photoshop every now and again, where it just like... Sometimes it's like taking a sledgehammer to a nail. That's probably the best way I can describe it. This is going to look weird, but I can rub that out and smooth it out. I do want this. I do want this shadow. Perfect. You see, I'm now fully masked. Probably missing a couple of bits, but generally fully masked. So we do Control J again. Oh, I wasn't holding Control. I hit the Windows key. So Control. Now, when you're masking up, make sure you've got the right layer selected. If you have the wrong layer selected, it will still let you mask up, but then when you Control J, there'll be nothing there. So Control J sets me on a new plane of existence, and boop, and now I'm there. I've got some weird stuff around me. You see this? Again, it picks up random stuff sometimes. So we go back to the rubber. Nope. So did you see how that changed my knee? We want this to be extremely hard, because then what you see is what you get. And we just rub this bit out. Boop, 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 boop. My housemate hates that, because I'm just like boop all the time. Now let's make us not look weird like this. You see my perfectly square arse over here. We don't want that. So we just smooth it round. Okay, when you're smoothing is basically the only time you want to click and drag. So, I think yes. I think that looks okay. That looks okay. I can round off this knee bit by using this. This is the clone stamp tool. If you right click on any of the tools, other tools come up. I'm going to use the clone stamp. The clone stamp works by looking at other parts and then doing stuff to those. So you first need to pick the part you want to clone. So if you hold Alt without this selected, if you hold Alt, you see that? Basically, it's going, this is the part that I want to clone. So you click there, then when you let go, you see it's a different color. You click. Now be careful because look, you see it's giving me like a weird edge. And that's because my clone stamp moves up and down with your mouse. It isn't just like it's going to stay there and give you that. It's going to move with you. So you have to keep clicking back and doing it again. So you click, you do it again. You click, you do it again. You click, you do it again. And you just keep doing this until you get something that looks, you know, okay. Right. Whoop. Boop. Okay, right. Now, I have a bit of a weird knee, but it's there. Now we go back to the rubber tool. We have that set size quite low, but we have it set at like 100. And then we just smooth this bad boy out. Okay, pointy knee, but you know, once I put like a border around this, it'll be fine. Cool. I would say that looks fine. Yeah. High five, Joe. Perfect. Right. That's probably a bit loud for you, but no, who cares? Okay, right. You see this? I can now control T on that, and that brings up the transform tool. I can spin myself round. Okay. Nice and easy. It will go a bit pixelated when you're doing stuff to it. Don't worry, because as soon as you click off, it resets itself. And I can control Z and put it back to where it was. Nice and simple. What I could do, looking at it now, is because he was the biggest problem in this entire video. And I was a little bit fearful. Right, you see that? I was just trying to rub out this little notch here, and I was in the wrong layer, so it wasn't letting me do it. So if I click to the actual layer, you can see the little pictures down here. Now I can click, and it goes. Okay. Very helpful things to know. Cool. Right. Right, so what I'm actually planning to do now is I'm going to basically make it look like he's going to murder me. And he nearly did in the game, so it's very apt. Beep. Lovely. Cool. I'm going to make me a small boy, just like life. I'm going to get him, where is he? We're going to do that. We're going to zoom out, say hi to our boy. We're going to make him huge. Now you see how he's behind me? If I want him in front of me, I can grab this layer and put it above me, and now he's in front of me. And then I can do this, drag him, and now I'm in front of him. I think that looks pretty good. We're going to do a background on this in a second. We'll get a decent Torok background. The picture. This. We can do stuff with this. Okay, you know what? So I've just turned off the visibility on the ones above it for now, because like I said, I think what we're going to do is have these huge bits. Maybe actually these bits back here, I can make those look decent. So maybe we just grab those. So let's grab these. I think yes. We control J to get our bit. Oh no. Right, so you see I was selected on the wrong one, and now it's given me half a dude. So let's control Z that. You see, I'm selected on the wrong one, and I've highlighted that, and now it hasn't given me that, it's given me half the big dude. So I actually need to click this. Thankfully, when you mask stuff on Photoshop, I'm very low down, aren't I? Yo. Now, when you mask stuff on Photoshop, the masking is stuck to which one you've got selected, but if you change which one you've got selected, it stays there. So like I want a little bit more masking. So you've got add, subtract, can't remember. So I actually want this extra bit here. So we're just going to add that in. Boop. No, we're not. We're going to take it away. Okay, lovely. Let's take it away. Once you take it all away, no pixels are selected, and you can go again. Whoop. Doot. Beautiful. Now, right one selected, we Control J to get a copy of that on its own layer. We turn this off. That looks somewhat beautiful. I could totally deal with that. Okay. We Control T this because I want it to be like quite a big thing. We go boop. Now, looks a bit weird right now, and it's kind of in the wrong place, so to speak. So now we'll right click. Once we've Control T'd it, we can right click and we've got all this stuff. So like free transform. So that just basically allows you to make it bigger or smaller. If you do distort, that is like that's like your paint and your word, where if you grab the top one, it just goes up. You can also make it lean left to right, but to be honest, you're only ever really going to be going up. And you've got your lean angle up here. You see that? You see how it's coming up? We're going to drag this down as well. You see, that doesn't look good, does it? So, what I think we'll do is we make it so it doesn't look terrible. Always the biggest thing. Make it so it doesn't look too bad, and then we hit enter, and that okays it, solidifies the change. Now we can go cloning tool again. Again, this isn't the best way to do it. I'm not like very skilled at Photoshop per se, but what I am good at is grabbing one thing and just sort of running with it forever. So you see I'm making these like line up a little bit. Beautiful. Now it gives me that nice hard edge down that side. Again, I might split this and just ping it over to the other side and make it look good, because this side doesn't really have like a solid edge. Like it's got something, but it doesn't, and it makes it awkward to then make it look good. So I think that's probably what we'll do. So we'll just focus on this side. This, as soon as you, so I'm alting, getting this bit. As soon as you click, that's where it goes from. So you see that? You see that little plus? That's the part you're copying. So I don't want this little edge bit. You see that? So we alt, we click, we move across, make it all line up. We alt, we click, make it all line up. We move across. We alt, we click, make it all move, go that way. Alt, click, and you just sort of keep doing this. Okay, keep an eye of where that plus is. You will get some weirdness like that, but you can kind of blur that out a lot. There we go. You see that? No, you see, I started to get the. See, I start to get the top parts in that then. So we just keep going, keep in mind where everything's coming from, all of that jazz. Okay, now we want this. We want this dark colour. So we click, and you see it's gone up too high. So we go back. See, we're getting some weirdness. Don't know what that was. Beautiful. We now have this. Click up here, drag down, and record a bit. Drag down, and record a bit. And record a bit. There you go. That was quite a good bit. Once you start getting like a bit of a build up, then it's pretty fine to just sort of like, you can sort of make everything work. Again, your hardness matters here, because you'll get a lot of copied textures, and if they're really hard, they'll just write over whatever's underneath them. Whereas what you actually want is like a bit of change. There we go, perfect. Now, like I said, we're just going to get this half and we're just going to flip it over the other side, but I don't really like this. So we're going to use this, we're going to control whatever it, not control, we're going to alt whatever it, and we're just going to drag ourselves up. Drag it up. There you go. It might be nice to have some vines at the top actually, but I don't like the one that goes literally from the bottom to the top, so we're just going to get rid of that. Cool. I actually think that looks pretty decent. You know what, we'll just get rid of it all. Let's make this huge. Actually, you know what, that might be cool, because we can always remove that from the other side. I'm just going to get rid of all these little bits. Perfect, right. Oh, this is going to be pretty nice actually. Now we mask up this part, we control J it, we turn this one off, we control T it, we right click, nope, we control copy, we control C to copy this, we control V to paste it. Now we have two. We can control T to move this one to the side, make it line up, and then we right click and we flip horizontal. Perfect. And then just to give it the illusion of, you know, sometimes it's not all the same, we just do this. There we go, perfect. That looks really good. Okay, I like that. Then we get our big boy, who's now turned off, and we turn him back on. Yo, your boy looking chonk. Lovely. Now, oh yeah, that's another thing. We don't want these as two separate bits anymore, so we can just make them one bit. If we just highlight them both by holding control, if you click one then control and click another one, it highlights them both. Then you just right click, you merge layers, and now they're together. You can delete the old layers. Am I still here? I'm still here. What actually would be quite nice, now that these are merged, these are one big image behind this dude and behind me. This is now one big image, so I can scale this out and then I can drop it down as much as I want. What I might do is I control T. Nope, have to be on the right layer. Control T. There we go. Now I'm going to make this a little bigger. I'm going to drop it down a bit, drop it down a lot, and I'm going to make it much bigger. Because what I'm planning to do is I'm going to be hiding, so little me. Yeah, little me. Make sure you're on the right one. Control T. I'm going to be like here. I'm going to make myself sort of surprisingly a small boy. Maybe flip like that, so as I like hide against the wall a little. So it looks like I'm hiding, and then I'm going to get him, this dude, I'm going to get him, make him huge, absolute monster, and I'm going to get these edge bits. See these? I'm going to get those, and I'm going to bring those in front of him so it looks like he's walking up on me. That's what we're going for. So we turn off his thing, so we just want these. Turn off me. We mask these. The masking, again, you're going to want it quite big and you're going to want it somewhat odd. No. Oh, you see that? You see what he's trying to do there? Why? And then it flicks back. I don't know why it does this sometimes. It just gets like really bugged out. What you can do is you can use this. This is the lasso tool. You've got lasso, polygonal lasso, and then magnetic lasso. I find the magnetic lasso can be pretty good. You basically just like draw the shape and then it will just follow it around. Okay, it doesn't have to be like drastically close. It just has to be like close enough, you know? But you don't have a lot of control over what this is lassoing. It just sort of lassos. So I try and just sort of get close, but try and pick up more than I need to. There we go. And then we go again on this side to get this one. So whoop, whoop, whoop. We go up here, we can come down here. It will sort of pick up a lot of this, but not a lot of this. Did it just get rid of the other one? Oh god, that's always annoying. Okay, you know what? No. You look good. Add section. I could do this solidly by hand without using the magnetic lasso, but I find... Again, look, it hasn't like closed it off. There we go. Stop. Stop. Okay, right. You have to connect the two ends of the lassos up or else it just doesn't work as well. So I want those on their own separate layers, so we control J those. Ooh. And we have something. So now if I keep those up and do that. I was on the wrong layer, so it just caught his hands. See that? I'm on the wrong layer, so it's just catching his hands. That's why it looked weird. So we have to go over to this one, and then we control J it. And now we put those above him. We unclick this. You see his hands are like below it. We make... I'm on the wrong one. We control T. We make it look like he's walking on the actual floor. We make him a little bit smaller. We do that. We make this a little bit smaller. And then little me hiding. Control T. Wrong one. Control T. Nice. Now then, I want him to look terrifying. So what I'm going to do actually is, you see these black bits? We're going to get rid of those because they don't look very good. So we use rubber. We actually want the hardness to be down quite a lot for this because again we want it to look holistic. We want it to look like it's part of it. Okay, I'm dragging up now. But you see how much better that looks because you can kind of see like, oh, there's not like these hard edges. It like all cuts in together. Even though it looks a little weird, it sort of cuts in together and it looks quite nice. You wouldn't notice that they're on their own separate layer. And that is what we are going for. You see this? See this black? I don't want that there. So we just keep highlighting and throwing that away. See this black? I don't want that there. So we just keep highlighting and throwing that away. Lovely. Now, he looks a little bit out of place. And I want him to look a little bit out of place because he's quite big. And he wants to be quite scary. I want to outline him and I maybe want to give him some serious red eyes. You know, like scary red eyes. So we right click. We'll blend options. We can add a stroke. There's loads of stuff you can do here. Loads. But for now we're just going to add a stroke. This is basically, you've got outside, inside, center. That's where your outline is going to be. So it can be on the inside of the outside of the character, if that makes sense. Can be on the outside of the outside character, which is the one you're usually going to use. And then there's center. I don't really know what center does. I can't bother to find out. Opacity. So whether you can't see through it at all or whether you can barely see it. Look, you see it's picked up. There's another bit here that I'm going to rubber away later. I'm going to grab this. I want it to be red. Okay. Looks a bit big, so we're going to make it small. I would say yes. Don't he look cute? Now, all looks good, yes? Apart from this. So, that's there because there's a random little bit of him that I've missed there. It's a great way to highlight it if you've missed it. With the rubber, it's attached to the bit of him in the middle. So if you rub that out, it goes. But if you rub a big space in him, the line will then make a new line. So that will give him that. And you see that? Whoop. I can just Control Z it. But we can also, if we zoom in, this is one of my problems, is that I don't like zoom enough. You see the eyes? I'm gonna use this to make the eyes. So we make it small. We click. You see that? That's because now there's holes there. But I want the whole white of his eye to be red. So I need to zoom in even further. So any part of white I see, and I'm actually going to make it like kind of pointy. So I'm actually going to Control Z a lot of this. You see, again, the clicks help because you can go to something real small, like my friend Aaron, real small, then we can make him like, we can do that. And now we know exactly where we need to be that we can rub out. And then we can make that double the size. Or 2 pixels. There we go. Now, when I roll out of this, when I like zoom out and make myself bigger and make it bigger, it's gonna look a little weird, and then that's when you touch it up. But for now, so you see this? See this all done? I'd say that looks pretty good. So now if I zoom out, no, that actually looks pretty good. That actually doesn't look too bad. Is there something that I can do with my face? Said everyone ever that I've met. I look like such a sad boy and it's only going to get worse. Okay, right. I want this bit specifically. So what we're going to do is, if I just use the lasso tool, I think this is just free draw basically for your masking area. So if I grab this bit, yes, okay, right, that's free draw. So I can control Nope, I need to control J at first. What? Oh, right, it's because I'm still clicked on the big guy. So now we need to go to my layer, and then I can control J that. And now I've just got a mouth. Nice. Let's zoom out. Now, I want this to look very sad. So we right click, we use warp, and then you can effectively like drag the whole thing down. And then we bring the middle bits up. We hit enter because you can't really see it. Now you see it's kind of gone a bit off. We control T and we just drag that up. What I might do as well is just add like a teardrop. Nothing too drastic, nothing too ridiculous. You've got all these different brushes. Dry brushes, wet brushes, special effects brushes. What special effects brushes do we have? I don't really want any of those. They look a bit weird. What about wet brushes? What's a wet brush? I think just something like this. What we will do, however, though, is make it very low. You can rotate the brush with this one. Make it really small, and then you pick a colour over here. So I want like a nice light-ish blue. And then it's just a click. And then we zoom out. That just looks like blue shit on my face. So we just control Z that, and I think this will probably be it. I think that looks good. What I could do is add a little bit of text. If you just click on the text, you got horizontal, vertical, all this stuff. You can just click wherever you want the text. So last time I was writing, I had massive text. So this time we want maybe like 70, maybe less. But all I want is then click in the middle, delete it all, and I'm just going to write oh no. Okay, we pick like a very small, that'll do. Still looks a bit big, so maybe we go down to like 40. Maybe we go down to like 30. Cool. I don't like the red, so we can change the red to whatever. Yellow is quite a cowardly colour. Cool. We control T it. Just, oh, I don't know why that comes up. I don't, character, whatever. Text. Let me move said text, please. I think you just have to click off it once and click back on it. Go away. There we go. If it gets like that, where you can't click the middle of it or anything, you can just zoom in. And then you can grab it. You can put it somewhere. I actually like sometimes to add a stroke like we did on this guy. So you right click, blending options, add Uno stroke. Don't like the red and it's too many pixels, so we're actually going to take that down to like 2 pixels. We're going to take the color down to like a black. Cool. we are then, these layers now I don't really need, so I can probably get rid of those. I like it, but it doesn't look like I'm thinking it or I'm saying it. So what I want is I want this to be a decent size. I need to be on the right layer, which would be this one. Now again, you see how these are above it, so I just need to click on those and sort of do that with it. And again, these are also here, so I need to just click that and kind of get rid of it. Lovely. That actually looks surprisingly nice, because I'm going to make it like a thought bubble. Nice. It'll just be this again. Boop. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, 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 boop. We then get the text, we move it up here, and then we go to this one, we make this a little smaller, cool. We go to this one because it has deleted it, but it's just not showing it, and then we zoom out. I think that looks pretty good. I might get rid of this like knee bit because that looks a little weird. So where's the layer with me in it? Just come up here, size, that's fine. Hardness I want really low. This is where that whole like making it holistic comes in, because you see I've just got like a straight knee here. That's not how stuff works. So I'm just gonna, there we go. I think that looks good enough. Don't you? Cool. And then we can just export it. So if you go File, you can save as, but then it tries to save it. It only gives you options to save it as a Photoshop image. Generally, once I've made it, I'm done. So you've got export as PNG, export as. YouTube doesn't let you put thumbnails in that are larger than 2 megabytes. So what you have to do, because if I export this as a PNG, it will be larger than 2 megabytes. JPEGs, however, JPG files are compressed to a certain size. See this? See this? It's tiny compared to a PNG. PNG's got like, what, 214, so it's got like 6 times the amount. So we go JPEG, and you can choose the quality, and then this file size will get bigger. But that's generally fine. I think that looks pretty good. Try and have some text in your thumbnails, because YouTube likes text. Try and have some faces in your thumbnails. YouTube likes thumbnails. The red outlines I think are good for people clicking on your video, just make it stand out. But yeah, I think that's about it. So then we go export, we make sure it's going to the right place. I think it only ever goes to like one place on mine, so we hit export, it pops up. I'm in desktop and then YouTube pics. I go down, thumbnail, try and keep your naming conventions consistent. Mine's thumbnail 33 at the moment. We just hit save. And you're good. You can export this as a Photoshop thing, and then it keeps all the layers. The way that I've done it, as soon as I save it, the layers are gone. Okay, so without saving this as a file, as a Photoshop file, it's not there. Okay, so if I exit out of this, it will ask me, "You sure you don't want to?" And I'm like, no, because it will take up way too much space on my computer. And then come off this, and now if I go YouTube pics, all the pics I've ever made, and then there it is. Cool? Cool. Right, we're going to stop this here. It's nice to talk to you all, even though there's no one here. C'est la vie. Goodbye.